Call the meeting to order. Any items from the public?
Good morning. My name is Al Benjamin, retired firefighter after 35 plus years. I'm here to try to make this short and sweet. I'm actually here today to thank and to commend this commission on a lot of the work that was done in the past and the present for the people of Berkeley County. What I want to say is, I know it's not an easy job that you guys are doing, especially with, being pulled in so many directions at the same time. So I know it's not easy work. So as a resident of Berkeley County, I want to thank this commission for the work that they're doing. Like I said, past and present. And I want to thank this commission again for their work and their dedication towards Berkeley County residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not too often we get those kind of commendments here, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other items from the public?
You all got together on the shirt?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess
Somebody got the
I had a
memo.
bunch to pick from. I went with yellow, and
Well, see, I don't
Just so
have
happened. My name's Corey Rodriguez. First, I'd like to start off by saying, if you see me on a Thursday morning in here speaking, as soon as I'm done, I run out of here. It's not to be rude. It's just I got to go back to work. I work Monday through Friday. They let me come down and speak, and then I got to go back to work. So that's why I don't want you to think I just come in, run my mouth, and leave.
Nope. Don't think that's. You're not the only one that has to work through the week too. So.
Yep. So I want to start off, like I said here 2 weeks ago, I would like to see this council strongly consider putting a hold on all new residential developments until whatever changes with the state, that you can put your taxes, impact fees to start bringing in money to fund the growth, because no impact fees, what it does is essentially it's discriminating against people that are low income, people that are fixed income, and the students through the overcrowding of schools. We don't have funding, roads. I already went through all that. I want to focus today on education. So I'm going to take you back in time. And I was in school from 1984 through 1979. What I remember about my public education was you got on a bus, you went to school, everything else was provided for you. The schools were fully funded. We didn't have a list to take home to our parents or give to the teachers that parents got to pay for the supplies.
I don't want to cut you off, but we do not have any dog in the hunt when it comes to the school board and what they spend their tax dollars on. So I understand where you're coming from, but we don't have any control over the school education system here in the county. Go ahead.
No, and I do understand that.
Okay.
But my problem is when you look at the federal government, they only fund 8 to 11% of the public school budgets in not only West Virginia, but across the country. So if you look at the value of money they put into colleges and universities, it's 4 times the amount. So to me, how does that make sense? How do we invest in colleges and universities, which essentially have turned into a business and can fund themselves through all the money they make off of athletics? So why doesn't the federal government put more money into the public schools of every state? Why isn't that a priority? And why, the students that grow up today is our future. They're here to run our country, but we give them, half the education that you used to get. Our government doesn't think that our students are valuable enough to fund them at the local levels. And that's why you see across the country. So, right there, you're underfunded. We keep adding all these new developments and homes, and, they're not bringing in the possible impact fees that we could put towards education, infrastructure, everything. If you look at it, state and local funding of public schools is 89 to 92% in West Virginia. How is that fair? I mean, to me, it says the federal government doesn't care about our children, our state government doesn't care about our children. I feel that way because we have 8 schools over 100 years old in Berkeley County. Why is that? We are failed on those 2 levels, and people need to be called out about it, and we need to demand better for all of West Virginia. Now, I'll take you to our planning commission meetings. And nothing gets me more fuming than watching a planning commission meeting. The planning commission is part of the development of this county. The planning commission should look out for the best interests of every single person in this county for every single project that goes in. So when I watch these meetings and I see a residential development being put in, and they come up, they say, blah, 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 it fits in the ordinance. Any questions? No? All in favor? Everybody says aye, we go on. But why doesn't each development mean something more when we already know we're overcrowding our schools? We don't have the money to build all new schools. We're putting kids on school buses on roads that have excess traffic on it because we keep adding developments without, the traffic studies, which I think is a bunch of BS. There should be a traffic study on every project. Every project should have a traffic study if we care about the entire community. And right now, we're just building, and we have nothing to pay for the growth. So I'm going to ask you again, please put it on the agenda and have an open discussion on residential impact fees and putting a hold on all new development until this can get into place. If I was on that planning commission, there would be 3 questions I ask about every residential development. I would say, how is this project going to affect the school where it's being built? Can this school take on this potential number of kids? And does this project affect the safety of our kids going to school and back? If nobody answers those questions or asks these questions on the planning commission, that tells me that they do not care about everybody in Berkeley County, because there is people being affected by the decisions that are made. And I think we should have the equity, whether you're rich, middle class, poor, homeless, a drug addict, you should still be recognized, because at the end of the day, everybody's a person. And as a person, everybody has value. So I leave you with that, and I just ask you again, please, consider a hold on residential new developments. Thank you for your time.
Any other items from the public? All righty. Motion to approve the agenda as presented, or if there's no modifications or changes.
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Purchase order log. Any questions for Tracy back there?
No big expenses on the purchase order.
No.
That's it.
No big ones, that's right. Is that good or bad?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was just a statement.
No internal budget revisions this week. We have a change in status. New hire recommendations received from the Honorable Nathan Harmon, Sheriff, for Logan Andrew McCulley as a deputy with the annual salary of $54,187, effective September the 5th, 2023.
Is that a new recruit or a replacement or,
It's
New.
a empty position. It's a new recruit.
I mean, he's a brand new recruit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, new hire recommendation received from Mike Lang, Chief Court Marshal, for Daniel Wright and Shane Newton as a Deputy Court Marshal with the annual salary of $39,017, effective September the 5th. A change in status received from Gary Wine, County Administrator, for the following employees effective July 1, 2023. Brian Ross receiving a reclassification from pay grade 16 to grade 18 with a salary increase from $103,500 to $143,000. Doug Smith is receiving a reclassification for an additional responsibilities with a salary increase from $113,850 to $140,000. I had a letter of resignation received from the Day Report Center for James MacArthur effective August the 17th, 2023. And removed Dylan Beavers from the payroll for county clerk effective December 1st, 2022. He was a part-time temporary help.
Back to Doug Smith, are we still looking for another county engineer?
You're not. You're not. That's the purpose for the reclassification.
Okay.
And just to be noted that the adjustment on both salaries, you still have residual left in the event we need to look for an engineering training left already budgeted.
It stays within the budget.
Very much so.
And the previous engineer that's no longer here was at that salary of 140. And quite honestly, Doug was carrying the majority of the water on that one anyway.
He was doing dual roles there. Okay, we have approval of the minutes for August the 10th, 2023. Everyone was present. Commission calendars. There we go. We're here today on Thursday, 24th at 9:30. September. Screen's too big. We have the 24th at 5 p.m. The library board and the ambulance authority was canceled for this evening at 5. On the 28th at 4 p.m. Health board at 4 p.m. Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority. 4 p.m. Historic Landmarks. 5 p.m. Water District. Nothing on the 29th, and on the 30th at 1 p.m. CVB. And nothing on the 31st unless there's any changes or modifications that anybody has. Anything there? And we're moving on down to our honorable assessor, Mr. Hess. You have a couple taxpayer error. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Penny. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Have a motion to have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Penny. Yes, sir, Mr. Hess, all yours.
Yeah, well, I got a few here this morning again. First of all, we got taxpayer error, we got two of them. They reported them, didn't mark them off, so I had to report them to you guys as taxpayer errors. And both of those total up to $970.98 for those two taxpayer errors.
Alrighty, can I have a motion for the exoneration of taxpayer error?
Mr. President, I move to accept the two applicants for taxpayer error exonerations for taxpayer error in the amount of $970.98.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Like sign opposed,
Aye.
motion denied.
Good, thank you. I do have again, I've got 3 pages of exonerations for personal property office error. And I might mention again that these aren't all that came from the calendar. These are some of that we found during our proofing, and we're trying to clean them up. That's why I've got, for the last couple of weeks, I've got 3 pages of them. And, but anyway, for the reasons that's listed there, we've got 24 of those that we need to correct. And the total of those 24 are, let me check,
84, 18, 62. Oh, no, that's not.
8,418.62.
Okay. Do I have a motion for the 24 property tax exonerations for reason of office error?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries.
I will sustain because I'm listed on
One noted abstention, sorry. All
Okay.
right.
Change my vote then.
All righty, next up.
All right, do have office error for real estate. I have 4 of them. I had to correct 4 of them. For the reasons they're wrong tax class, those type of things. Those 4 come up to $2,869.38.
I have a motion to approve the office error for taxpayer exonerations for is it real property?
Yes, sir.
Real estate, okay.
Yes, sir. I'll make a motion we approve that request for exoneration in the amount of $2,869.38.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. 2, apportionment of assessments of taxes per final divorce.
I do, yeah. We had two divorce requests to split the bill. And so we did that. I need your approval on that so we could give them each their part. First one was for Davis, Jeremy Davis, Wagner, and Karen Wagner, and they had 4 vehicles. We split those up and gave them a separate bill. Same way for Joseph and Phyllis Wright, had 5 vehicles. We divided those bills up and just need to get your approval so we can give them a separate bill.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the 2 apportionment of assessment of taxes as per final divorce?
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Good. Last thing I have, it would be some consolidations. We got 4 of them.
Okay.
And we put them together for just so they can get one tax bill. All of them did the same thing. First one's for Eric Scyther. Had 2 parcels in Hedgesville District, map 31, parcel 130 and 129. Consolidated them to get one bill. We had another one for Robert Fields, had 2 parcels in Falling Waters District, map 15P, parcel 7 and 8. We put those together so we get one bill.
Okay.
And Robert Fields had another parcel and 2 parcels in Falling Waters District in map 15P, parcel 52 and 51. Did the same thing with those 2, consolidate them to get one bill. And the last one was for Beverly Edwards, 2 parcels in Hedgesville District, map 21, parcel 70.2 and 70.7. We put those together also for one bill.
All righty. You've heard the applications for consolidation of property. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries, sir.
Good,
Is that it?
that's all I have. Thank you.
Okey dokey. All right. Board and meeting reports. Mr. Boyd.
I had the first museum board meeting
Mhm.
last Thursday. I think it went very well. We elected officers. We took a tour of the 110 King Street. Needs a little work. But all in all, I think the group got along well. I think we're going to work well together. They'll work well together. Not only we're on the liaison, but I think everything went well there, and it's headed in the right direction. The new president has a lot of experience, and I guess president or chairman. That'll come out in the bylaws that'll be voted on in next month's meeting. The meetings will be on the 4th Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. Location is still up in the air. We met at the old bank jail. There were some issues. We try to hope to get resolved and possibly so we can meet there in the future, or we may move to the Development Authority if that becomes available in the future. But I think we're headed in the right direction. It's a great group. They all meshed well. We didn't really have any issues, and things are rolling right along.
Very good.
Did they all show up?
Well, that is one thing. One lady we're going to have to replace. We thought she was just out for surgery, but she was out for a major cancer surgery. So she's not going to be able to serve. She was the lady from the CBD. She worked there. She has since resigned over there. So we're looking to find somebody to replace her. And then there was one other gentleman that had a work conflict. But
The
Mr.
president's
Howard,
name,
I think, is-
the guy you elected president, his name is?
that is Mr. McCarthy. He is a longtime Berkeley County resident. He's also on the board out of WVU. Very high esteem, has a lot of knowledge of history and with boards and raising funds. So I think he's going to do a really good job there. It's not what he expected when he came into the room, but by the end of the meeting, I mean, he had fully taken over, and we've since had another meeting to discuss moving forward. Him and myself and Matthew had a meeting about some things to get the bylaws in order and get things for the next meeting. So I mean, it's rolling right along there. Other than that was the museum board. Library board, I won't be able to attend this evening because I had something to do. So I met yesterday with Gretchen for about an hour and a half and discussed their concerns there and things that are going on with the library. They have a big wish list and some things. I mean, they're like anybody else in the county, strapped for funding and things to get what they need. I don't think she really realized that they're sort of in the same boat we are as a county, where there's only one municipality and limited funds. You know, some years ago, I guess the school board pulled back funding from them because of the court case in Kanawha County. But since Kanawha County has reestablished their funding in their library through the school board, but ours has not. So the school board's not really chipping in very much to the library system, and their buildings are dated and need a lot of work. I'm working to get her another board member that may be able to help her in some of those aspects, and we discussed some options, and I gave her some opinions on what I thought could help or work or give them new insight in the future, and thought that meeting went well. And the CVB meeting yesterday was moved to next week. So that's all I have to report.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Barnhart.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Went to Morgantown Monday and had a wonderful time.
Very good.
And I kept my wife from going to the planning commission meeting, so I don't know if that helped or hindered the planning commission meeting.
Hindered.
And other than that, I had no meetings.
Okay. Mr. Catlett.
Our ambulance authority meeting tonight has been canceled because of the lack of requirements. Too many members out of town, but Brian sent out a email yesterday about things, and so far, for your interest, 2,075 homeowners have benefited from the homestead exemption on paying the additional $25 ambulance fee. And I think after the first 3 days, with all the hectic chaos that went on with the notarization required, we got rid of that. Things have gone a lot smoother. So obviously, to date, that amounts to about 51,000 and some odd dollars that the taxpayers have saved on their fees. So, the other thing, earlier this week on Tuesday, Gary and Eddie and I met with the ambulance authority staff and with VA officials and had a very good conversation there. They're looking for transport help, which our body feels that we're here to provide 911 service, emergency service, and not transport. So
I think we came to a good resolution there and gave them an option to help them out. I feel very comfortable with it. I think Eddie would agree. So we're pleased with the outcome of that. And then yesterday I had our senior services board. We approved a $2.2 million fiscal 24 budget. It was refreshing. Becky Linton was only at her second meeting. We just appointed her a few months ago, and she's assumed the fundraising committee, which there was not a head, and I didn't expect anything less from Becky. She's that type of person and will do a great job in that capacity.
Did she volunteer somebody else?
Yes, she did.
On the board yet?
Yeah. And we're going to interview later today Cindy Thurston. We do have the one position left to appoint one other member. Becky already has her appointed to her fundraising committee, so,
Sounds like you got voluntold instead of volunteered, huh?
well, you know, you can serve on committees whether you're on the board or not, so
Yeah.
that's, but we're looking forward to Cindy's interview here later this morning, but other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Eddie, what do you have?
Well, after enjoying a very nice week away, came back to a full agenda on the planning commission after the cancellation of the week, the meeting before because of weather. It was a kind of a double whammy. We ended up having 11 public hearings that evening, and there's still a lot going on here. Interest rates, obviously have gone up, but I don't think it has affected this area, this whole region. Everybody complains about Berkeley County, but it's not just Berkeley County. Jefferson's seeing the growth, Frederick County, Washington County, Loudoun County. This entire region is seeing the growth of this area, and we've all certainly got our challenges.
Speaking of that, whenever you have public comment, is there a time limit put on the public comment for the recipients, or is it?
Yeah,
just
typically there's 3 minutes allowed for public comment, and if you hold everybody right to the third
Second,
minute, but we like for them to be able to get it wrapped up by then. Also, this week met with folks for the Dunn Building construction and the day report. The Dunn Building IT, voters, fire board should be moving the second week of September. At the day report building, they're still waiting on a lot of engineering information to be received. But these guys are ready to go, and I think we have a real good contractor there in Waynesboro Construction. But right now in this building in particular, there's a lot of moving parts. The windows are going in. They can do about 2 windows a day, so it takes quite a bit of effort to remove the old windows and get the new windows back in. But they really look nice. But
Not your average size window.
no, they're not. But I really wanted to thank Gary and Tracy and Jack for their involvement in both of these committees. There's a lot of work going on by those 3 folks. And we met yesterday with the sheriff and the assessor and Gary on the out-of-state tags, just trying to get both efforts together with the assessor's office and the sheriff's office now out doing their job, and make sure that we're working together and not over top of one another. So Gary gave them a lot of assistance yesterday in being able to take care of that task. So that's about it.
Okay. I didn't have any meetings, but I was on WRNR on Tuesday morning. We talked a little bit about the new regional jail bill, that how it's going to affect Berkeley County, and how we have been able to maintain our lower cost than other counties as far as the grant money and our day report system that we use. And then towards the end, we talked about the air show coming up, and then after I was finished, Nick Deal came in and gave a real good update on the air show for this weekend coming, and that's about all I had. But it's always good to talk on WRNR. They're a lot of fun out there. So
Yeah.
all right, anybody else have any other things to discuss? Alrighty, board and commission, no vacancies to fill at this point, or I'm sorry, no reappointments. We're right on time. Ms. Thurston, we have you coming up here this morning to, for a little bit of an interview for your volunteer position. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and that we don't know.
Okay. I am a registered nurse, and I worked at the hospital on the skilled care unit, and I'm not a speaker, so if I sound nervous, I know.
Don't be.
Don't be, not in front of us.
It's just us.
And I worked there, and it was long-term care. I had 20 years there, and then my husband and I had countryside assisted living for 14 and a half years. So I just have a strong love for the elderly, and then, as you know, Beck and I are good friends, as you can tell. And she said that she had gotten on the board, and she wanted to know if I wanted to come along so I could help her with fundraiser and stuff. And she said we could volunteer too at the senior center and stuff. So I'm kind of excited. I needed something else to do. When you have a place like the care home for 14 and a half years, it was my whole life. And now I got time.
Very good. HD, have any questions or?
No, you look like you would be a great addition.
But thank you.
Sound like you're well qualified. So thank you for signing up to be a part of the team.
You're quite
Hopefully you get selected.
Thank you.
Mr. Barnhart.
Well, thank you for your concern for the elderly, because I am.
And he needs a lot of attention.
I do. Just ask my wife. She's tired of it. What plans, what concerns do you have about the senior center? Do you have any, or expanding
really.
services, or?
I'm interested in it because when I had the care home, at first, when we first started, there was a couple that had the Alzheimer's or whatever. Their family had it signed up, and then that went away. I don't know enough about it now. I just want to get interested to see if there's somebody I can assist to help people that still want to keep their family home to get the help that they need.
One thing I've always not worked on, but been concerned about is senior services is a broader thing than just the senior center on High Street.
Mhm.
There are many senior services out there that are not part of the senior center,
Mhm.
specifically Meals on Wheels. And I'd dearly love to see senior services and Meals on Wheels, and of course, Human Services and all those other agencies. I like to see them get together and, not so much coordinate, but just cooperate.
Yeah.
Compliment each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you may know, Meals on Wheels, does a tremendous thing. And of course, you do too with your senior service meals. But the Meals on Wheels goes through the entire county.
Mhm.
And of course, what they really need are volunteers, just like everybody needs volunteers.
Right.
And so I hope that the senior services realizes that and, cooperates in any way, shape, or form that needs it.
Mhm.
So, thank you.
Mr. Catlett.
I don't know you personally, but I've heard a lot about you, and if Becky Linton thinks you're a wonderful person, then I take that to lips.
Well, thank you.
She's an awesome lady, and she's looking forward to working with you in that capacity, and the whole board is over there. So Gary and I serve on the senior board together as well, and we appreciate the fact that you're willing to offer your time to serve. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Eddie, have any?
Well, when I think of you, Cindy, I look back of all the years at the hospital and then in the care business that you were in. You obviously have a love for people. And with your business background, from running a business, which is not an easy business to run these days. So many restrictions and regulations. I remember working with you through COVID early in, trying to get the supplies and stuff that you needed to take care of your folks there. I think you'd be an excellent addition to, quite honestly, any committee that we have. But I appreciate you applying for the Berkeley Senior Services. I think you'd be a great fit.
I don't have any big questions, but I do know that if Cindy Linton asked you to help, I'm pretty sure she picked a real good person for it. I think the guy sitting back there with you, I think he's probably has a position to be voluntold too, so.
Yeah, him and Mike
I
will
can
be
see it
doing
be a-
some things, I'm sure.
I can see it be a family and friend effort, so thank you for coming in. And is it an official appointment that we can do today, or is it just a?
We can, and I would, since you're willing, I would like to move that we appoint Cindy Thurston to the Senior Services Board.
Okay, we have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Is this a new position or?
No,
replacement?
this is the last position we need to fill.
And what's the term?
It's 3 years.
And of course, you're going to tell her about Mr. Petrucci's involvement.
You'll take care of it. Get her sworn in.
Yeah, you'll have to go down, we'll give you a letter, you'll go down and get sworn in down at the county clerk's office, so.
Okay,
So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed.
thank you.
You're here. Oh,
Thanks.
well, you don't have to thank us yet. You can come back and thank us.
Oh, okay.
All righty. Next up, we have Risa Ingram Orsini with Executive Director for Farmland Protection Board. Request to close on an easement of properties. This is the first official visit, isn't it?
Good
Good to
morning,
have you.
Commissioners.
Good morning.
So I'm here to request, we have 4 properties that were selected for funding for fiscal year 2023, totaling just over 500 acres that we will protect with the conservation easement. 2 of those properties were appraised at higher than the owner's ask, so they will actually result in a donation value. And we actually have 2 that are partially being matched with funding from the Eastern Panhandle Conservation District. The cost for the Berkeley Farmland Protection Board will be $2.4 million. One of the properties is the 3rd farm being protected by the owner, which I think is great. And another one is actually the 2nd property being protected by the same owner, a different owner too. So multiple that are coming back and getting more farmland protected.
Good.
Yeah, off of Featherbed Road, where? Do you know?
I can't tell you without looking at the map.
Well, I live on Featherbed Road.
Okay.
That's why I was curious.
You
It's a
should
dead
know
end.
the property. didn't you?
Well, it's a dead end road, and it's got to be past me because the only thing previous to me is anchors. That's not anchored, so it must be down.
Closer.
Yeah, closer to the Peckin, I assume.
It's really close to what we call Margot Tip, which is Hunter Wilson's property.
Oh,
So that maybe that'll help you a little bit.
yeah, it does.
Okay.
I didn't know Margot Tip was Hunter Wilson.
All righty. About a motion to approve the request to close on easements of properties.
Well, I'll make that motion.
All right. Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
The only thing, I don't know if it makes a difference, and Anthony, you can answer this one. This has the Berkeley County Council on the heading of the letter. That's okay, but we're a commission, or,
It's not matter.
okay,
Our commission.
all right.
Well, I use Mark's template, so that would be why.
That's
I will
fine.
make sure next time.
That's it. I didn't know if it made a difference or not.
Thank you.
All righty, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Next up. Oh, my golly. It says for a break. Y'all ready to take a little break? We'll do that. Kenny, we're gonna go on break. Be back here at 10:30. Okay, we're back in session, and next on the agenda is Matt Umstead, Director of Policy and Strategic Planning Annual Report.
Good morning. How are you all?
Good.
I prepared a 21-page report regarding the activities for the previous fiscal year, as we started last year with the report we did last year. Obviously, you all did a lot in the last previous fiscal year. There's a lot to be proud of there. A lot of accomplishments, a lot of efforts with Parks and Recreation, quality of life. Obviously, the museum project. Obviously, when you get into the finances, the county's measures to contain spending and keep the levy rates going in the downward direction is always a positive thing. So, a lot to be proud of there. And if you had any questions, I don't want to go page by page, but if you have any questions when you're reviewing it, or maybe some edits, some corrections, did have one small correction that needed to be made.
It wasn't a small correction, that was a major.
It was a major correction, and it was promptly fixed early this morning. But it was just a small typo. We'll call it a typo. But if you have any questions or response that maybe something that was overlooked, obviously there's a lot of some data there, as there was in last year's report about the activities of 911. Obviously, their accomplishments, which were tremendous, with them achieving that elite status. Obviously, there's a number of projects here going on the county campus, with various expansions of facilities and renovation activities. The Day Report Center activities, as you see there. They're obviously a very busy organization, agency these days, and the improvements in the, as I said, the Parks and Rec projects, which are obviously going to continue in the years to come. So, without rambling on, I don't know if you had any questions or whatever, but this is really a document that's kind of a reference document. Will be placed on the website like last year's report for the public. The effort here is to celebrate and promote what all the positive things that the county has accomplished in the previous fiscal year, and to let them know, obviously, what we're doing, which is very important. We'll obviously also post this on social media and send it out to the traditional media folks as well, and just to let them know that we're publishing it.
Do you send send a copy of this to the state of West Virginia?
I don't think we do.
I think it should be given to the state of West Virginia somewhere. I mean, if Randall or somebody.
They have access to it. I mean, they'll see the social media posts, and they can get it from the internet. But I mean, we can send it to the governor and say, "Hey, look at us!" Right?
Well, I think that would be appropriate.
I think part of his State of the State speech could be including some counties.
I wouldn't. That's a policy question. You all would have to decide that.
We can ask if they would want one.
Of course, we will.
Yeah.
We have lots of contacts in our ranks.
I would send it to all of our local legislators at the minimum.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have nice printed copies at the legislative summit too.
Yeah.
Having it all on the desk as a welcome packet.
Yeah, sounds good.
I was surprised in that I am the only county commissioner that wasn't born in this Berkeley County. The rest of you are all local, full-time, long-term,
Don't be
born
surprised,
here.
Jim. You knew
And
it
I'm
all
the
along.
only one that wasn't.
I'll be honest with you, truthfully, I was born in Washington DC.
Oh,
My
you
dad was
were?
in the Air Force.
You mess up Matt's article, he's gotta go fix it.
Yeah.
Now I have to fix that.
I mean, I consider myself, and then we moved back a year later, but I was, but I was actually born in
Eddie?
Washington DC.
So we should
Well,
change
all I can say, that's explained a lot of things about both of you.
The truth emerges.
I want to say this, I lived in an apartment complex and Jimmy Dean lived there before he was famous. And I actually rode in his convertible one time when I was 1 year old. So that's my claim to fame.
There you go.
Did he make you some sausage?
I didn't, he wasn't that famous yet.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, you may.
for purposes of understanding the value and the effort and the time in this document, Matt has weeks, if not months of, not full-time, but long-time work involved in this. And this isn't just take a bunch of stuff from department heads and slap it down, right? So there's a whole lot of effort to really wordsmith this and make it sound good. You know, we're all proud of the efforts we do, but over the years, and all of us have been around here a long time, you know, we've never said to the public, and this is year 2, we're not bragging, but we want to show you on paper in a 21-page document, a summary of what we've done the last 365 days. And Matt, a thank you to you from us and the commission to their constituents. You actually have something in writing that they can look at their leisure and understand what you do with their $50 million worth of tax dollars.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, it's very well
Thank
done.
you.
Very well.
Yeah, that's really the aim is you can communicate all day long, but if you don't do it in a way that translates to people, they can easily digest it, or more easily digest what we're doing. You know, it's easy to talk, but to talk in simple, easy to read, easy to understand, using graphics and all that. It does take some work, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And hopefully people in the public take the chance and read a little bit, or at least skim through it and pick up some information that they find valuable, because I think there is a lot to be proud of and to know about if you didn't pick up on it in social media or out in the regular media world. So.
Very good, Matt. Anybody else have any comments or questions?
Is this on the website yet?
Not yet.
The rest of what I told you is true.
But the names have been changed to protect innocent.
Do we need to correct that? Do we need to correct that, or?
No, he's a lifelong.
It's a lifelong, I mean, we still had our residents in Hedges.
Okay.
I mean, I moved
Just
here when I
happened
was
to be
3
born
months
down
old.
there.
You know, if you want to take away that too. I was born in Durham. I moved here.
We're going into the weeds, Matt. You're done.
Okay.
I take that back about being the only one.
Well,
We're just helping you out, Jim.
you know, it's even scary. The doctor that delivered me is still alive in this town. Now, he's not practicing, of course, but I'm sure after me, he probably thought that's the end. I ain't delivering no more. But,
Well, I'm slinking away here.
Yeah. All righty.
So will there be a link that you can give us so we can share this?
Absolutely.
Yes, it will be posted on the website, and then
After the correction.
after the
Wait.
corrections.
If you make hard copies, I'd like one.
Okay. Well,
Hard copy. What's a hard copy?
I wanted something I can hold in my hand.
Well, there it
We'll
is. It's
print
in your
you one,
laptop.
Is
Yeah, I
it
know.
okay, black and white? You really don't want to waste color on that hard copy.
I want color.
He wants it on the wax paper, the sheen, and he wants
Frame
it all.
around it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, is it something that it should be out front when people walk into our offices that they could take? I mean,
Maybe we'll look at it having something bound, but let us see. We'll look at
Makes sense
that.
to
But
me.
we will get you one.
I appreciate that.
I think it'd be nice on our big screen here.
We
But
could,
let
the
it
air
roll.
show slide's about to come down in 3
Yeah,
days,
put
so
this
we'll
one-
have
put-
some room. We'll talk back.
okay.
Very good.
Thank you. Very nice.
Great job,
And
man.
better luck next year.
Yeah. All righty. Anthony Delegated, Legal Director, MS4 MOU and Permit Application.
Yes.
Give us a rundown.
Finally, it's been a while. So you all recall we moved forward with doing a joint application for an MS4 permit with the Stormwater District. In that, they've taken the lead in a lot of this. And we had to have an MOU that sets forth what everyone's duties, obligations are, indemnifies everyone against the actions of the others. Essentially, the county commission itself will be limited to the role of plan review for stormwater infrastructure facility when projects come through our planning initiative. So the day-to-day, nothing's going to really change, but we have to do this to get the application submitted to the DEP and EPA. And how long that takes,
would probably be a while. Day-to-day operations shouldn't change at all. So we would need a motion two motions. One, to move forward with the joint application for the president to sign. And the second one, to move forward with the MOU with the stormwater district.
Okay.
It's much lengthier than I would have probably drafted. Very repetitive, but if you have any other questions about it.
All righty. I'd like to have a motion to approve the MS4 MOU.
I'd like to make that motion since I serve on that board, and we
Okay.
move forward with the MOU and the permit application.
You want two separate motions or?
Just two separate?
Yeah.
I make a motion for the MOU.
Okay. Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. And a motion to approve the MS4 permit application.
As a co-permittee, I make a motion that we approve the MS4 permit application.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Do we have any further discussion? Everybody understand? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. All righty, thank
So
you,
the
sir.
application,
That was fun.
application will be made, what, tomorrow or?
This is government. We don't work that fast. I don't know.
Who makes application?
So-
Curtis or?
The probably the
They,
MS4.
yes. Curtis does, their attorney, at Stepstone Johnson, I think, let's submit.
He'd have all the legal jargon in there that needs to be to include, exclude.
It's a fun read.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have any trouble sleeping at night, just take it home and
Pick
go to
that
bed
bad
with
boy
you.
up, try to read that, yeah.
All righty, Mr. Wine, law enforcement rank structure change.
I'd just like to thank those boards, the Stormwater District Board and the Sewer Board, 'cause it's the same people, for their work on getting this resolved, because this has been up here since before I came here.
Yeah.
Trying to get this resolved.
Been working out a long time.
Yeah, and I know
3
that
years.
there's been quite a lot of work, a lot of give and take back and forth to try to get a decent document that the state, something they can accept. But I wanted to thank all those involved and our staff, our engineering staff, for their cooperation.
The legal staff.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Wine.
Thank you, sir. So I have quite the laundry list of requests from multiple departments that includes the sheriff department. And I think probably over the next 6 months or so, we'll have conversations like this that impact you from a budgetary standpoint. But in this instance, there have been issues over the past months where they struggle in law enforcement in rank on active shifts. It has to do with manpower, sick day, holidays. In one instance, it was an accident that took a ranking officer off for an extended period of time, and they don't have the depth in their ranks to pick up the coverage. So I met with the sheriff, I met with his administrative team on multiple occasions, and really came down to that multiple asks, but one that we could address, that we could propose, the commission addressing immediately, is taking 3 existing deputy sheriff positions and merely taking them to lieutenants. Now, we're not asking you to pick the people, of course, that will go through the civil service process. All they would like to do now is to take 3 existing deputies and make those positions corporals. To you, for budget purposes, not to exceed $9,000, if you will. It looks to be closer to 7, but you don't know once they go through the process which officer will test. And some of them with tenure, as you well know with your step processes in place, some basic deputies are in the couple $1,000 range, but yet others who have been here with time, I'm not sure I think it's like 2 years minimum, they might be at $54,000. So there's no way to truly tell you this is the exact amount. So when I worked the numbers, I used the high end they may not even apply. So again, we've had lots of departments come in and ask, for purposes of assuming more responsibilities, and we do a change in status. You did two today. This is essentially that. When you go through the promotion, you assume more responsibilities, but in their world, because it's ranked, you have to have a process to promote to do it. So that's the ask, is if you could, again, move 3 deputies into corporal and let them go, and the financial ask for you would be a budget change not to exceed $9,000.
Is that each or total?
That's total for the effort.
Yeah, I don't know how, really and truly how their rank structure is. I would hope that scheduling could accommodate some of those issues where, if that one corporal or sergeant is off, that they could transfer somebody to another shift for time being until then.
That's what they did.
Yeah, but I do believe as this department grows, that they will in fact need additional folks in their ranks to be able to accept responsibility and give direction. So I would certainly support that move.
I think that's common in any type of operation that the sheriff's department has. That can be beneficial for them to know what the ranking structure as the deputies go.
Right, and right now, they have a lieutenant, a sergeant, and a corporal. With this change, they have a lieutenant, a sergeant, and 2 corporals.
Right.
So,
It's the same structure as the military, basically. To understand.
Okay. Do everybody understand what we're voting on? And to include the
not to exceed
not
9,000.
to exceed 9,000.
And that's per shift.
No, sir, that's so
That's
there'll
total.
be 1 new corporal per shift, not to exceed complete
Yeah.
$9,000.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign, opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Gary. All righty, we got an executive session, and so I'm going to go ahead and there will not be any action taken, but I'm going to go ahead and ask for any item from the public. Oh, okay.
Mr. President, I move you in an executive session for real estate personnel, legal matters.
Sounds good. We are in executive session. Thank you. Hi, Jim.
Best thing ever happened in southern West Virginia.
Okay, we are out of executive session and no action is to be taken. Mr. Barnhart,
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to recess.
we are in recess.